From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
37 degrees at 6:05. Good evening, I'm Jonathan Dent. A driver received only minor injuries after a crash left his vehicle pinned under the trailer of a semi-truck this morning in Saginaw Township. The crash was reported just before 10 o'clock a.m. at the corner of Gratiot and Center Roads. The westbound lanes of Gratiot were closed for a brief time but have since reopened. Police are investigating the crash. No other injuries were reported. Michigan State Police arrested 2 people in Flint yesterday after allegedly finding 3 handguns during a traffic stop. Around 10 o'clock p.m., troopers with the Safe Cities Project stopped a vehicle near Bradley and Mansfield Avenue on suspicion of no insurance and faulty equipment. According to police, the 24-year-old driver was in possession of a handgun, and the passenger, a 27-year-old, also had a pistol under their seat and another in their belongings. The troopers also reported finding multiple extended magazines, including a 50-round drum magazine. Police say neither of the suspects had a concealed pistol license, and they were both arrested and lodged in the Genesee County Jail. Residents of Midland are being asked to participate in the city's master plan process in a fun way. The city's planning commission and the Grace A. Dow Memorial Library invite residents to hold their own mini master plan input session with a customized pizza and planning kit. Each kit will contain pizza-themed items to help create the perfect quote-unquote Midland pizza or master plan, including a menu of toppings representing specific goals or objectives identified as priorities by the planning commission. Together, each pizza-making group will decide which of their 8 favorite goals to go on the pizza, given the highest priority to the city's new master plan. Pizza kits can be picked up at the library's adult reference desk beginning Tuesday. The city requests that pizzas be completed and returned to the library's circulation desk by April 15th. WSGW News Time is 6:07. The weather forecast is coming up.
Check out the WSGW Sports Broadcast page on WSGW.com. Want to know when and which WSGW station you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football and basketball, Saginaw Spirit hockey, and SVSU football? Click on the Sports Broadcast box on WSGW.com.
WSGW News Time is 6:08. Another call this morning for changes to gun laws as a result of the mass shooting at Michigan State. A group of Michigan State students, including Madeline Johnson from Oxford, is calling for legislative action to increase public safety and keep students safe.
We're college and high school students. We should be worried about writing essays, not eulogies. What more do you want from us? When is it going to be enough? Ariel, Alexandria, and Brian were failed. They are dead because of the lack of common sense gun legislation we not only have just in this country, but more specifically in the state of Michigan.
Legislation has been introduced in Lansing to require universal background checks for all gun purchases and require guns in homes with children to be locked up. The package of bills also calls for allowing a judge to take guns away from anyone that may be at risk for hurting themselves or others. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, has provided funding for several area housing commissions. The funding can be used by the commissions for a wide range of housing issues in their respective communities, such as replacing roofs, upgrading heating systems to be more energy efficient, and even installing water conservation measures. Communities receiving the funds include Bay City Housing Commission at around $700,000, the Alma Housing Commission at $254,000, the Saginaw Housing Commission at $1.6 million, and the Mount Pleasant Housing Commission at $300,000. The funding comes from a $3 billion investment by HUD across all 50 states. The Detroit Youth Choir returns to the national stage tonight to compete in America's Got Talent All-Stars Finals. DYC advanced to the finals after becoming the first choir in AGT history to receive a second Golden Buzzer. The youth choir will compete against 10 other finalists, hoping to be named the best of the best. But no matter the outcome, on March 19th, the choir will headline its first ever concert at Orchestra Hall. Stay tuned, we've got much more coming up on the Evening Roundup.
The WSGW Morning Team.
WSGW online poll for Governor Whitmer's Lowering Michigan Costs Plan goes. The governor announcing this 3-part proposal. It's related to Michigan's potential record $9.2 billion budget surplus expected this fall. What do you do with that money? Well, the governor wants to deliver $180 checks to every tax filer, expand the state's match of the federal earned income tax credit, estimated it could provide $3,000 to about 700,000 Michigan families. Also phasing out the retirement tax to ultimately put an average check of maybe $1,000 back to 500,000 households in the state.
This will be the largest tax break for working families and seniors in Michigan in decades.
Republicans have a concern about whether this could prevent the possibility of an automatic decrease in the state income tax. So the poll question is this: are you for or are you against the governor's three-part plan? You can vote I'm for it, I'm against it, maybe you're not sure. The options are there for you in the poll box. Head to WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage, and make your vote that way.
The Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Good evening. This is the WSGW Farm Final for Monday, February the 20th, 2023. In Chicago today, no trading going on the Board of Trade or the Mercantile Exchange. We'll take a look at those closing prices on Friday in just a moment. As far as our weather is concerned, we're looking at some partial sun as we went through the afternoon hours after a sunny start to the day. Temperatures once again warming up well above average for this time of the year. It looks as though they're going to settle down just a little. And as we move into the middle of the week, another major system will be affecting our weather as we move into later in the day on Wednesday night, and during the day on Thursday. More on that weather. But let's go back to those closing prices on Friday. On Friday at the close, markets traded in a pretty narrow range at Star of the West, in Frankenmuth, as well as Cass City Rapson. The white wheat was unchanged at $7.25, the red at $6.75. The new crop was $7.56 for the white and $7.06 for the red. Corn up a couple in Frankenmuth as well as Cass City at $6.23, the new crop up 3 at $5.36. In Frankenmuth, soybeans unchanged at $14.52, the new crop up 2 at $13.21. Over in the thumb area, $14.47 for the nearby soys. The new crop was at $13.16, and again, that was up 2. Temperatures moving up into the upper 30s as we went through the day today. If we would have had a little bit more sunshine, we would have warmed up even more. We're not looking for our temperatures to really drop off all that much tonight, dropping down just below the freezing mark. Sun will set this evening at 6:13, rise tomorrow morning at 7:26. Now, there will be some light snow around because a weak low-pressure system will be crossing through the straits from the west to the east, and it is going to generate some gusty winds later on tonight. They'll be coming out of the southwest, gusting to 35 miles per hour. Now, during the day tomorrow, we'll have decreasing clouds, windy, sun as the day goes on. Then tomorrow night, snow showers will be moving in once again. We'll have a high temperature of 35, a west wind gusting to 40 miles per hour tomorrow, 24 for a low tomorrow night. And those west winds will die down and then come more out of the east as we go through the past midnight hours on Tuesday night into the morning on Wednesday. Wednesday, we're going to see mostly cloudy skies. We'll have an east wind gusting to 25 miles per hour on Wednesday, clouds, and then messy rain, sleet, and snow as we move into later in the day on Wednesday and Wednesday night. Wednesday's high 30, the low temperature 23. And during the day on Thursday, we'll have a snow, sleet mix, temperatures moving into the 34, 35 degree range, a real good chance of moisture until late on Thursday night, where it'll still be cloudy, but our temperature will drop down to 10. Friday, partly cloudy skies, low 20s for a high. Clouds on Saturday will move into the 30s, and then some sunshine on Sunday, upper 30s to right around 40. That's it for our closing prices this evening. Join us tomorrow for the early morning edition at 5:30 and your first look at the markets at 11:40 on WSGW.
News coverage.
Michigan State University, several victims of a shooting.
You either care about protecting kids or you don't.
No one thinks that we're coming back to a normal week.
News.
Here in East Palestine,
Consider using bottled water.
This is just turning into one nightmare.
News.
Inflation number up
0.5%.
The Chinese are not our friend.
They'll do whatever it takes to beat us.
Nikki Haley. News coverage.
And the Kansas City Chiefs
on WS